Okay? Good. Okay? Okay, come, linear law. So the first question is not plotting graph. Okay, but the first question, I can tell you, most students will get very confused. So, don't be like some of my students who are very stubborn. When I tell them to use big Y and big X, they refuse to write it. Okay, there's a reason why I always insist that students use big Y and big X. Okay, so let's start the question. So the variable x and y are such that when values 1 over y plus 1 over x are plotted against 1 over x. Okay, when they mention this, at the side you can actually plot it out. This means this. When you see that the normal y-axis and x-axis is a small y and small x. But for this is the big Y. So 1 over y plus 1 over x. And I always bracket and put capital letter Y. This is big Y-axis. Okay, the small x, this one is big X. So you will write 1 over x. You can put bracket. This is a big X. So big Y-axis will be in this. And big X-axis is this. Okay, so in linear law, it is very important between small y, small x, big Y and big X. Okay, so you need to write it very clearly. So they say that when with the gradient m is obtained, it is given that y, see, this is small y. Y is 1 over 6 when x equals to 1, and y equals to half when x equals to half. So common mistake is students say, okay, 116, they go and say, oh, 116. And then after that, half and half, and then they take these two values, these two coordinates, and find the gradient. But that's not correct. Take note that this is small y and small x. I need to convert it to the big Y and big X. Okay, I need to convert it. So my x1 will be referring to the first coordinate, which is, because my x is referring to 1 over x. So I will put it as, x1, I will put it as 1 over 1. So it is 1. My big Y, the first point, is 1 over y plus 1 over x. So it's 1 over y plus 1 over x. So in the end, it is 6 plus 1. So it's 7. So the coordinate for this case will actually be 1, 7. Okay? Then the next one, the x2 will be 1 over half. So it's 2. My y2 will be 1 over y, which is 1 over half plus 1 over half. So it's actually 2 plus 2, so it's 4. So the second coordinate is actually 2, 4. Okay, so if you plot this will be big X, big Y, big X, big Y. If you plot it on the graph, it will be 1, 7, 1, 7, so it's here, let's say here. Okay, and then 2, 4, 2, 4, let's say it's here. Okay, so then after that, this is the line they're talking about. Then you are ready to find the gradient. Okay, so the gradient is using y1 minus y2, so it's 7 minus 4 over 1 minus 2. So it's 3 over minus 1, so it's negative 3. Okay, so common mistake is students straight away use this xy and this xy. You must remember linear law. Your big x-axis and big y-axis is different. So you need to convert to the big X, big Y first. Okay, convert it, then you can find the gradient. Understand? Okay, so next, find the value of x when blah blah blah. So actually this, if you look at this, it looks quite similar to this thing, right? 1 over y plus 1 over x. So actually this is (3 over y plus 3 over x equals to 3. Okay, then actually I take out common factor 3. Take out 3, it will be 1 over y plus 1 over x equals to 3. So 1 over y plus 1 over x equals to 3 divided by 3, which is 1. So in other words, they're asking you to find the value of small x when big Y equals to 1. See, this one is big Y equals to 1. Because my 1 over y plus 1 over x is my big Y. Okay? See, okay, so how am I going to find this? Okay, we need to find the equation of the line. So I'm going to write big Y equals to mx plus c. So you see that I always write big Y, big X, and big C. So this is to tell me that this is in the linear law form. Linear law form, understand? Yes, factorize it out. Then after that, my big Y, of course leave it. My gradient is negative 3x plus c. So I need to find out what is my c first. So it's just like normal coordinate geometry. You need to sub a point which is on the line. So you want to sub in 1, 7, you want to sub in 2, 4 also can. So let's say I'm going to sub in 1, 7. So I have 7 equals to minus 3, 1 plus c. So my c is equals to 10. So equation of the line become y equals to minus 3x plus 10. Okay, now I'm ready. See, just now I'm supposed to find out what's my small x, right? And now I have my big Y. So I'm going to sub this big Y into the equation of the line. So now this is both is big Y, you see. So it will be 1 equals to minus 3x plus 10. So 3x equals to 9. So my x equals to 3. Okay, wait. Lame. This person very lame. Okay, so my x equals to 3. Don't stop there. You got to be careful. Remember I said small x and big X is different. They ask you to find the value of small x, but my this one is big X. So I'm not done yet. So I have to go and find out what is my big X and small x. My big X is referring to 1 over x. So in other words, 1 over x is equals to 3. Therefore, x is equals to 1/3. Okay? So this is how you do this kind of question. Okay? You need to relate between big Y, big X. Okay, now, next, express Y in terms of X. Again, you can see that this is small y and small x. I'm going to make use of the equation that I have made over here. I'm going to rewrite here. Big Y equals to minus 3x plus 10. Thank you. Okay. Then after that, now I replace my big Y and big X into the small x and small y. Okay. My big Y is this one. So I'm going to replace to 1 over y plus 1 over x equals to minus 3. Big X will replace with 1 over x plus 10. So now I have replaced all the big Y, big X into the small y and small x. So now the next thing is applying the skill of your making Y the subject. Okay, so now it still look very complex. So you need to combine single fraction, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, 1 over y I will remain here. I'm going to bring the 1 over x to the right hand side. So this is minus 3 over x minus 1 over x plus 10. Okay, 1 over y is equals to minus 4 over x plus 10. Okay, then just put 10 over 1. Combine the right hand side into a single fraction. So you will have 1 over y equals to minus 4 times x, right? Plus 10x over x. And you see, this is 1 over y. Okay? Right hand side no more y already. So to get y, I just need to reciprocal. So therefore, y equals to x over 10x minus 4. I just flip the 10x and minus 4 because usually we don't like to write negative 4 on the first term. So I just flip 10x minus 4, put it denominator. So now this is called y in terms of x. Done. Okay, so this question you said tough, actually is not tough. As long as your big Y and big X write it clearly, okay, as long as you're good in your AMath coordinate geometry, this is actually nothing. Okay? So, everyone get this? All good? I love linear law actually, okay? I love linear law. Then I always tell my students, you must write big Y and big X, but sometimes they're very stubborn. They still write the big Y in terms of the 1 over y plus x, and then the big X and that's 1 over x. It's very confusing. So you use big Y and big X, okay? I don't teach in school. I operate my own tuition center, private tuition. Okay? All good. I proceed to the next one. Any question? Okay, if you are unclear on which part, you can anytime you can stop me and ask me. But don't just put a question mark. If you just put a question mark, I also don't know what you want to ask. You may ask, like for example, Cher, why is it that it is C is equals to 10? Then maybe I can explain a bit before I move on. Okay, you want to ask question, can, but you ask genuine question and clear question. And then I will explain. So all good with this question. Can I proceed to question 2? Question 2 will be plotting linear graph. I mean as in linear law, but it's graph one. All good, Okay, I move on. Nobody? Good. This one, question 2. Okay, so now this, they always give you small x and small y. Okay? Then after that, they will give you the non-linear form. This is what we call the non-linear form. So the first thing you need to do is always to shift your non-linear form to the linear form first. So some question will tell you what is your big Y and big X, then you just follow accordingly. Some question will not tell you what's your big Y and big X, as long as you can find a suitable big Y and big X. So for this question, big Y and big X is given. Draw a straight line graph of X plus Y against this. It's auto one. This is always big Y and this is always big X. Okay? Please don't swap it. They will give you big Y first, then big X. So it means that I'm going to write the linear form out for non-linear form. So it is A x plus y minus b equals to bx squared. So your first task, okay, always, okay, your first task is always to massage until you have your big Y on left hand side and your big X to the right hand side. So now you can see that my big Y is X plus Y is inside here, but I have obstacle A and minus B there. What should I do? So I should just rainbow up first and see what I can do. So let's rainbow. So you get AX plus AY minus AB equals to BX squared. I'm going to keep the first two terms here. I'm going to bring the minus AB to the right hand side. So AX plus AY equals to BX squared plus AB. So we are not done yet because I haven't made X plus Y the subject yet. So now I'm going to take out common factor A, X plus Y equals to BX squared plus AB. Then last step, divide by A throughout, right? So X plus Y is equals to B over A X squared plus B. After you wrote this already, then the first task is you got to state my big Y is X plus Y, my big X is X squared, which is according to what they tell me to do. Then my gradient for this case is B over A. My big C for this case is B. So I always, you must massage the non-linear form to the linear form according to the big Y and big X that they request for. And then you have to state what is your gradient and what is your big C. So not every time your gradient is just like A and then your big C is just B. So you can see that for this case, my gradient is B over A. My big C over here is B. You understand? So this is very important. This is the first thing you need to do, and do it on before you plot the graph. So now I'm ready. Okay? I'm ready to plot the graph. Okay? And then use your graph to estimate the value of the A and B. Because after I plot my graph, I find my gradient, I find my big y-intercept, and then I can find my A and B. So far okay? All understand how I shift my non-linear form to linear form? So just to highlight a bit, linear form, okay, the rule is you need to shift until there is one constant. That constant is always your big C, okay, and your big Y can be mixture of X and Y, can be X alone, can be Y alone. Your big X also can be X alone, Y alone, or mixture of X and Y. Understand? Okay, now let's move on. So I'm going to plot the graph. Of course, Teacher Kangie already plot the graph. Because if I'm going to plot it here. I'm going to waste time plotting, but I will tell you how I draw the graph. Okay, where is it? Okay, first, we need a table, correct? So the first thing is you need a table, 2 rows for this case, because my big X, always write X at the top, and then big Y here. And my big X is X squared, so you can write this one is X squared. My big Y is X plus Y. Okay, so with this, you will look at it. So my X squared will be 1 square. Of course, looking at the small x here, 1 square, so it's 1. Okay, X plus Y, just do 1 plus 0.5, so it's 1.5. Okay, 2 square, so this is 4. So 2 plus 0.5, so this is 2.5. So I'm going to write fast for this case. This one, I believe you all know. So this will be 9. This will be 16. And then this will be 25. This will be 4.5. And this will be 7.5. And this will be 11. Okay? Crucial, always put your X, big X on the top row, big Y on the second row. Because it's normal that when we plot graph, okay, we will always read the X first then Y. X first then Y. Very careful. So always write out the big X and big Y here, so that you won't get yourself confused. Hi, can do B for improper fraction? No, I'm not doing primary school. I'm doing secondary school. Today AMath linear law and then AMath Trigo. Okay, so now we are ready to, not exactly ready to plot. Remember, in AMath, when I plot the graph, previously I already did the graph. You must always know what is your range. Okay? Look at now. Let's find out what's my X range. Look at your big X range. It's from 1 to 25. So 1 to 25. Your big Y range is from the smallest is 1.5. The biggest is 11. Okay? You need to know your range. Then you can plan your graph. Then look at the question and see whether they give you any scale or not. Some give you scale, some don't have, then you got to decide yourself. Over here, they tell me that, oh, okay, on the big x-axis, so big x-axis, they tell me to use 2 cm to 5 units. My y-axis, okay, they ask me to use 2 cm to 1 unit. Okay, so now I'm ready to plot. So ta-da-da-da. So because I know that I only have positive x and positive y, so I know that my graph, my line will be very bottom because I don't need any negative y. Okay, and I don't need any negative x. So my horizontal line can be lower, my vertical line can be to the left. Okay, but please don't straight away draw first. Always make sure that you have enough points. So you can see that if my 0, this horizontal line, if I draw it here, if I draw it slightly half 1 cm above, then I will not have enough space to draw up to 11. And I will go beyond. Okay, so going beyond is a bit ugly. That's why I shifted my horizontal line to 1 cm lower. Okay. Okay, let's see. Then after that, because my scale is 2 cm to 5 units for the x-axis, and remember my x is 1 to 25, so I need to go up to 25. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Okay, and then this one, of course, because I know I need 1.5 to 11, so 1 all the way to 11. Okay, so after I have the scale already, next is I need to plot the points. So plotting points, no need to tell you how to plot. Let me agak-agak only. See, 1 and 1.5. So I go to find 1 and 1.5, and then 4 and 2.5, blah, 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 blah. Okay, then, kids, you need to understand, okay, you need to understand that for linear law, most of the time, the line that you draw is best fit line. So the points might not join to become a nice straight line. Okay? So it is drawing best fit line. So I'm going to put it this way so you can see better. So if you can see that my line passed through this point, but it doesn't really cut through this point. This one also never really touch. This one also never really touch. This one also never really touch. So you have to use long ruler, definitely. Please don't use short ruler. You have to use long ruler. Find the best fit line that actually the closest to the points that you have plotted. Okay, and because remember we need to find the big y-intercept. So of course I draw a line and make sure that I cut a point whereby it's a nice and easy point that easy for me to find. So I go and shift the line and draw until the best fit line that it hits 1 exactly. Okay, don't go and draw and then you see your y-intercept is like between between the one small box, then you don't know what value is that. You understand? So best fit line, draw a line that's closest to all the point, and then make sure you need to cut the big y-axis. Okay, so many a times, let's say for example, they may give you points like that, and then after that, when you draw already, your line does not cut the big y-axis. Of course, you will just need to extend the line and make sure you cut the big y-axis, because we need this to calculate our B for this case. Okay, so now come back to here. Now I'm ready to find my gradient and my big C. So please take note for gradient, common mistake. Do they give you like 1 point like the question itself, then you sub everything inside, or just do they give you like 1 point? No, they never give me 1 point. What you mean? They only give you a table with small x and small y. They will only give you a table with small x and small y. You need to massage your non-linear form to the linear form. Okay, and then after that, based on your big X and big Y, and find the new big X and big Y. Okay, so for this case, I need to find my both big X and big Y. Sometimes big X is small x, so I don't need to change anything, I just use the X. Okay, so it depends what is your big X and big Y. And then after that, you plot all these points on your 1, 1.5, 4, and blah blah blah. So you can see that my big Y axis, I write big Y. For me, I put a bracket there, x plus y. Big X, I put a bracket there, x squared. Okay? So after I plot the point already, then, because you still want to find gradient, right? So common mistake is what? Students always, gradient, okay lah, I take any of the 2 points from the table and find the gradient. No, you cannot do that. Why? Because remember, most of the time, we are drawing best fit line. So the point is not the exact representation for the straight line. You must take from the graph. So you look at my graph. So from the line, you need to go and find some nice point. I need to go and find nice point. So I managed to find 1 point here, which is 12.5, 6. And then 1 point here, which is 5.3. So these 2 points must be from your graph. Then from your working, you will state here. Okay. You must state from graph. Okay, the 2 points is 12.5, 6 and 5.3. Then apply your gradient formula. So m is equals to y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And we get 0.4. So we are not done yet. Remember, my gradient is not just a or b, it is b over a. So this only tells me that my a, should be b over a. My b over a is equals to, you want to write 0.4 also can, you want to write 2/5 also can, because it's the same thing. So I cannot solve it yet. Let's settle my big C first. So my big C from the graph, we know that my big C cuts through the 1. So my big C will be equals to 1. And from here we can see, my big C is B. So therefore my B is equals to 1 straight away. Then see, now I can sub my B equals to 1 into here. So therefore 1 over A is equals to 2/5. Therefore A is equals to 5 over 2, which is 2.5. Okay, so we have put a range here. So when you draw, because it's a best fit line, so the way I draw my best fit line and the way you draw a best fit line is different from mine. So over here, okay, if your best fit line you draw already, these are the range that they accept. If your big y-intercept is 0.9, then you will accept your A to be this value. If your y-intercept is 1, which is the one that I have, you will accept within this range. Wait, Sam, are you sure I sent to you is 2.8? Sam, this is 2.38, Sam. This is 2.38, not 2.8. 2.8, I failed already. Okay? So Sam, take note to change this 2.8 to 2.38. Okay? So my A and B is resolved. So this is called using your graph to estimate the value of A and B. But 6 minus 3 is... No. I didn't put 2 over 5. 6 minus 3, I just press calculator for this whole thing. It will give me 0.4 or 2 over 5. Don't forget your denominator got 0.5. Princess. Just no need to work out. This one, just press calculator. 6 minus 3 divided by 12.5 minus 5. You get 0.4. And 0.4 in fraction equivalent, it is 2/5. Okay? So that's how we do this question. 7 marks. So 3 marks is to plot the graph. And plotting the graph, make sure you change your non-linear form to the linear form. And then after that, find out what is the big X range, big Y range, so that you can plan how you plot your axes. Okay? And then after that, after you draw the best fit line, okay, make sure that you extend the line until you cut the big Y axis. Okay? And then find 2 points which is on the line. Any 2 points which is on the line. So this is the 2 points that I find, and that's how I find my gradient. And then now this table, so I'm going to put here, this is very important. From here, then I can decide, oh, so my gradient is 2 over 5, which means my B over A is 2 over 5. Then my big C from the graph is cut at 1. And because my big C from this table over here, you can see that my big C is B. So straight away my B is 1. So using this B over 1, I sub it here. And that's why I get 1 over A equals to 2/5. And now I get A equals to 2.5. Okay, maybe I put here in case you all don't know. Sub B equals to 1 into B over A. Okay, in case you all don't know, please go to my bio, click on the last button to join my Telegram channel. So the PDF worksheet for the question, first few pages will be empty so that you all can try the question yourself. Then after the last few pages will be the solution, which is what I did today. Okay, it will only be uploaded tomorrow. And then for the TikTok live today, it will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Again, go to my bio, the second last button will be my YouTube channel. I have uploaded, we have uploaded all our TikTok live replay all on the TikTok or all on the YouTube. You can always revisit, okay? Okay, let's move on to the third question on linear law. Okay, this is done. Okay, this one. So this is a question whereby they did not tell you to use which big Y and which big X. So you will have to decide yourself. And sometimes you might have, there might be more than one way of doing big Y and big X. Okay? Like for example, for this situation. Okay, every time, as long as you see power got the alphabet, you know that you will either log or ln both sides. So either way also can. Okay, either way also can. But for me, I'm going to do log both sides. Oh yeah, I need to highlight also. If you see any base 10 involved, base 10, that means you choose to log both sides. If you see any base E, you have to ln both sides. But for this case, Base 10, base E not available. So you want to use log also can, ln also can. Okay, so let's do it. So I'm going to write C equals to C naught AT. So again, I tell you, this is my non-linear form. So the first task is always to massage until you get the linear form. Okay, so I'm going to use log. Okay, so I'm going to log both sides. So log C equals to log C naught and AT. This is C naught multiplied by AT. So when it's multiplied, logarithm law tells you they can split and become plus. So it becomes log C equals to log C naught plus log AT. Okay, common mistake, listen here, I purposely choose this question. Common mistake is student bring the T to the front, and the T, they go and write it to both of them, which is not correct. The T only belongs to the A. It does not belong to the C naught. Understand? This is linear law, Sec 3, Sec 4, AMath. So then power law tells me my T can bring down. So I'm going to write log C is equals to T log A plus log C naught. I just shift it because after this you can see that log C naught actually is a number. Remember I say you need to shift until you have one constant, that is your big C. Okay? Sure, what does the zero base mean? Zero base? Oh no, this is C naught. It's like a symbol to represent initial. It is a symbol to represent that it is an initial. It's like, for example, C represent the cost. Okay? The C naught actually is just is a constant, it's a number. So C naught represent the starting cost of the, don't know what coin, the starting cost of the coin. Okay? C naught is the initial. So I'm going to put here in case you wonder what is C naught. So C naught is the initial. Initial means the starting cost for this case. So a lot of times, let's say for example, you see equation, example only. Let's say you have n equals to n naught, don't know, e to the power of t, for example. So let's say when you see something like that, then you wonder what is this. So actually this n naught simply means is the initial n, the starting value. Okay? So the red color is not related to the question other than the C naught. Okay? Okay, so let's move on. Remember, we need to write out what is my big Y and big X. So my big Y is equals to log C. My big X is actually the small t. My gradient for this case is actually the log A. And my big C for this case is actually log C naught. So box this up. So because we're going to use this and refer to this one to find our answer later. Okay, so let's move on. Now you need to plot your graph, correct? But again, you need table. You need table of points. So in this case, you can see that the big X is T, which is already here. The second column here, T 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. So we don't need to manipulate, but we still need that. So draw out the table. Okay. This is my big X. This is my big Y. My big X is just T. My big Y is log C. So T is just 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8. So log C is just using this 19.10. log, take note. So log on the calculator, thanks for the rows. On the calculator, log represent log base 10. So you must know this. Those who already know logarithm, you should know. So ln is base e. So now I'm using log, so I'm going to key in log 19.1. Log 19.1. So I will get 1.28. Then you can see that the number is very long, right? So we always round it off to 2 dp. 2 dp is good enough. So just put 1.28. Next is log 26.10. So I get 1.42. Round off to 2 dp, 1.42. So this is 1.42. Next is 38.3. Okay, like that. Okay, I will get 1.58. So 1.58. Okay, and then of course that one, the remaining I will just fill it in. I get 1.99 and 2.24. So now I have the points already. Again, remember we need to find out what is the range. So my x range is between 1 to 8. My big Y range is between 1.28 to 2.24. So with this, you need to decide. And this question is very bad. They never tell you how many cm to how many unit, how many cm. So you have to decide yourself, okay? You have to plan it out yourself. So you can see that the big Y, right, is only between 1 to 2. So it doesn't make sense if you go and write 0, 1, 2, then such a mini graph. Okay? You are supposed to fill up at least 75% of the graph paper. You cannot draw a mini. You cannot draw a mini graph. Hi. Okay? So what I did was I used 2 cm to represent 1 unit. Okay, for the big x-axis. Okay, I'm going to write here for the x-axis. I use 2 cm to 1 unit. So for my big y-axis, okay, I use, so it should be 2 cm to 0.25 units. So you can see I put 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1, up to 2.5. Because my largest value is 2.24 So 2.5 is definitely more than enough. Okay? Yes, me, I love AMath. Okay? So now let me plot the points. So over here I plot. Then you see this one is also need to draw best fit line. You see, have to draw best fit line. You can see that my line doesn't cut through this one, doesn't cut through, but it must be very close to it, very close to it. And then after that again, like I tell you, I shift until it cut a very nice part. So I cut at 1.15. So my big y-intercept will be 1.15. Okay, and remember I need to find 2 nice points. So I managed to find 0.7 and 1.25 and 4 and 1.7. So now with this, very easy already. Go back and do your calculation. Okay, so let's find my, they asked me to find C0 and A. So you look at your table here, log A is your gradient, log C0 is your C. Okay, so what you need to do is, at the side here, my gradient, okay, my point will be 0.7, 1.25 and 4, 1.7. So this was my 2 points. So to find the gradient, get a bit untidy. So my gradient will be equals to 1.25 minus 1.7 over 0.7 minus 4. Press calculator. It will give me 0.13636. Please take longer number. Please take longer number. Then we're not done yet. Remember our gradient here is log A. So you got to say log A is equals to 0.13636. Your task is to find A. So you cannot tell me, oh, my answer is 0.13636. It's not correct. You still need to find A. So log is base 10. So to find A is just 10 to the power of 0.13636. And when you press the calculator, it will give you 1.3688. Round it off to 3SF, 1.37. Okay, so that is my A. That's my A. Next, my big C is log C naught. Let's go. Remember, if just now when I plot the graph, my big C is 1.15. So you will write here, my big C is 1.15 and my big C is log C naught. So log C naught is equals to 1.15. C naught is equals to 10 to the power of 1.15. And that will give you 14.1253. So I'm going to write it off. It will become 14.1. 3SF. Done. Okay. And over here, I put here, for the big A, you can accept a value between 1.36 to 1.42 because your value might not be the same as me, because your line, best fit line might not be the same as me. Then my answer is 14.1, but we can accept 13.2 to 14.5. Okay, so we are done with actually just part 1, because I only use my graph to find my C naught and A. Now part 2. Okay, part 2. Part 2 is a question whereby if you do not understand what is C naught, then you will not be able to do your part 2. Okay, you see, estimate the year at which the cost has increased up to 10 times its original value. So they are asking you to find 10 times C naught, because C naught is my original value, which is the initial value. So I'm going to do this question here. Okay, here. Should I use red pen? Okay, I do red pen. So C, I need to find my 10 C naught. So it will be 10 times, please take the long number to multiply. So it's 14.1253. That will give us 141.253. And that is your C. This is the C that we want. Okay? But take note, your graph, you need to use your graph to find the answer. But your graph is log C. It's not C. So you need to do one more step. You need to find out what is log C. So the log C is equals to log 141.253, and that will give us 2.1499. So if you write it off, it's 2.15. It means that you need to go to your graph and find 2.15. So you see, go to my graph, find my log C, which is 2.15. Okay? Then over, and then after that, down. That is the corresponding T. Understand? That's the corresponding T. So it means that when it's 10 times the original value, my log C is 2.15, and based on my graph, 2.15 will give me the T will be 7.3. And our T is number of years. And number of years from where? From 2000. This is 1 because this is 2001. So actually 2001 minus 1 give you 2000. 2002 minus 2 give you 2000. So now it is 7.3. So 7.3 means what? They ask you which year, so it means it is just, so I will say from graph. So from graph, T is equals to 7.3. Therefore, 2000 plus 7 is equals to year 2007. So this is the answer. Year 2007. So student ask me, but isn't it plus 7.3? How to have 2007.3? They're asking you which year, right? A year has many months. 0.3 is still in the year 2007. Agree or not? This is linear law. This is linear law. Okay? So 7.3 is still within the year 2007. So you don't have to worry whether is it, yeah. So it's year 2007. Okay, so over here, we put here except 2006 is because maybe your graph might be slightly different from me. Understand? Okay, so I'm done with linear log. All good. This is Sec 3, Sec 4 AMath. I cannot tell you whether is it Sec 3 or Sec 4. Upper Sec AMath lah. Because sometimes they are taught in Sec 3, sometimes they are taught in Sec 4. Okay? Okay, so we will move on to trigo double angle. Okay? Okay, so over here I've put in the double angle formula as well as the addition formula. Okay, so why do I need addition formula when I'm teaching you double angle? Remember I said that I will teach you something like how to find 3a. So to find 3a odd number, you will have to make use of both double angle as well as addition. Okay, so now let's move on. So over here, I always I always write out the quadrant that we are in. So let's say this one, cosine 2a. Okay, cosine 2a given to me is 119 over 169. So cosine is positive. So I know that we are talking about first and fourth quadrant. Okay, yeah, understand. You tell me A is acute. Why you say that it's in the fourth quadrant? We do one step at a time. This first information, cosine positive, it is in the first or fourth quadrant. Then they give me additional information and tell me that A is acute. Okay, so we are not done yet. So A is acute means A is between 0 to 90 degree. This is 2A. So 2A means times 2. 0 times 2 is just 0. 90 times 2 will be 180 degree. So it means that my 2A can be a possibility between first and second quadrant. But we are talking about cosine positive and first and second quadrant. So that means in the first place, cosine positive doesn't fall in the second quadrant. So we know that we are talking about first quadrant. Then I'm going to cross out the fourth quadrant. So for this question, we are very clear that our 2A is in the first quadrant. So then after that, we're going to draw the triangle. Because it's in the first quadrant, so I draw it this direction. And because it's in the first quadrant, I can straight away label inside as 2A. Cosine is A over H. So opposite, adjacent, I know this one is 119, this is 169. Pythagoras theorem tells me that my third side is 120. So just put 120. So now I have all the information here already. Now I can start to answer the question. Okay, so they ask for tangent 2A. Easy lah, because my triangle is 2A, right? So just take opposite over adjacent. So my tangent 2A is simply just 120 over 119. After writing the ratio, the next thing you need to decide is, do I have to put the minus inside? Do I have to put a minus here? It's in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant, my sine, cosine, and tangent, everything is positive. So I don't need to put any minus. So this is my final answer. Okay, now we see they ask for tangent A. So how to find tangent A? Is this in Singapore or other country? Singapore. Okay, to find tangent A, you will need to use the double formula of tangent. So over here, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to write out tangent 2A is equals to 2 tangent A over 1 minus tangent square A. So all I need to do is, my tangent 2A, I already found it in part 1. So just put on the left hand side, 120 over 119 is equals to 2 tangent A over 1 minus tangent square A. Thanks, Mr. Cuddle, for answering for me. Okay. Then all you need to do is cross multiply and solve it. So cross multiply, I will get 120 minus 120 tangent square A equals to 238 tangent A. Okay, I'm not going to do the in-between step because it's just solving quadratic equation. Then after that, I'm going to use tangent A. I'm going to use the quadratic formula. So it's minus B plus minus B square minus 4AC over 2A. And I will have two answers, 5 over 12 or minus 12 over 5. But remember, our A is in the 0 to 90. So when A is in 0 to 90 means in the first quadrant means everything is positive. So my tangent A will not be negative. So in this case, you will reject this. You can put here, since A is a cube. And then tangent A is just 5 over 12. Okay, let's move on to find cosine A. Cosine A easy already. You know why? Because we have our tangent A. Okay, so since I have my tangent A is 5 over 12, so I'm going to draw another diagram. So I'm going to put here, since my tangent A is 5 over 12, and we know that A is in the first quadrant, so my triangle will look like that. OA, so 5 and 12, Pythagoras theorem, this is 13. So now I have this triangle easy. Cosine A is just referring to this triangle. A over H, so it's 12 over 13. So cosine A is just 12 over 13. And do I have to put negative? No need, because our A is in the first quadrant, everything is positive. So this is done. Sine A referring to the same triangle, 5 over 13. So sine A is just 5 over 13. Again, no need to put the negative because in the first quadrant. And we are done. Okay, so in this question, very straightforward, and not straightforward, as in very simple, still very basic. It's still just finding about a double angle and how you find single angle from double angle and how you find double angle from single angle. Okay, the most important, why not do cross fact? Why use the equation? I always do cross fact unless cannot. I use quadratic formula because the number is very big. Because the number is too big, it's very difficult to use the cross fact. Agree? Unless the number is very small, but this number is too big. That's why I straight away apply the formula. In fact, actually we can also key calculator. When we solve the equation, see ax square, I choose the number 3. So my A is the coefficient of my x square, tangent square. So I will just key in 120. My B is 238. My C is minus 120. And when I press equal, this one gives me 5 over 12 and minus 12 over 5. Agree? Yeah, usually cross method, I will only use it when it's smaller number. Such big numbers, straight away use the formula. Can you repeat what you said? Why can't use cross fact? You can use cross fact. But because the quadratic equation is such a big number, correct? And you want to reduce it to a simplest equation, I still need to find out what is the common factor between 120 and 238. Then I have to divide until the smallest equation. Then I do my cross fact. Then you'll be like, wow, so long, might as well just use quadratic formula. You understand? For A, we can put both answers, right? No, cannot. Because our A, remember our A is in the first quadrant. When A is in the first quadrant, everything is positive. So it cannot be negative. You will have to reject this one because my A is a cube. I reject this because that's why this question, okay, every time this kind of questions, you need to be very clear your angle is in which quadrant. Then you would know that whether you want it to be a positive or you want it to be negative. For this case, my A is in the first quadrant. Okay, so tangent A definitely must be positive. So when I get two answers, I will automatically divide. I will automatically reject the negative. Unless they come out two positive value, then I will accept both value. Understand? Yes. Mr. Kader, do you see that I draw the triangle for the A? Tangent A, 5 over 12. I draw another triangle. Because 2A is 2A, see? So for the A, I draw another triangle to represent. This worksheet is mixture of questions from textbook and past year question from school. So I never really follow a particular textbook or follow a particular school paper. Okay, if you want to do the practice question, as in the questions that I have here, you can go to my Telegram channel and then download the PDF which is uploaded tomorrow. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Okay, we will have more of this one behind. Okay, let's move on. Now this one. Okay, given that tangent A equals to half, find the value of tangent 2A and tangent 3A. Okay, so this one, tangent A equals to half. Can you go through differentiation in Trigo? Nope, not yet. Maybe the next topic. I think maybe the next one can do. Okay. Differentiation of Trigo. Later then we decide. End of the lesson then I decide the timing. I mean the date. At 9:30. We will finish at 9:30, hopefully. Okay, so tangent A equals to half. My teacher haven't even teach yet. What the heck? Which part? Mr. Kader, you mean which one haven't teach? Okay, so I want to find tangent 2A. So I'm going to use my double formula for tangent 2A again. Okay, so my tangent 2A is equals to 2 tangent A over 1 minus tangent square A. Differentiation in Trigo. Some school already teach, some school haven't teach. Some schools are still at the differentiation of the 5 rules and the normal tangent rate of change, all this. They haven't go to differentiation of Trigo yet. Yeah. But I have some of my students already learned that one already. Okay? So, but I won't do it next week lah. I think by the time it should be next week already, differentiation of Trigo. Most likely it's next week already. So by then I think by then, yeah. So by then you already be learning differentiation of Trigo. So all I need to do is just sub in the half inside. So it's just 2 half over 1 minus half square. So you all need to know that tangent square A simply means that you're going to square the tangent A. So of course, this one just press a calculator. No, a cube is in the first quadrant. A cube is 0 to 90. Obtuse is second quadrant. Obtuse then is 0 to 180. Okay? So this one press the calculator, you get 4 over 3, which is 1/1/3. This one very straightforward because it's just applying the double angle formula for tangent. Now, how do you find tangent 3A? Odd number. Okay, so this type you will have to make use of addition and double formula. So you will say tangent 3A is equals to tangent open 2A plus A. Okay, please take note it is the theta that is 3A. I have students Wow, I tell you, I want to knock them. They can give me this, you know. They can tell me tangent 3A, oh, tangent 2A plus tangent A. I'm like, huh? No, this is a wrong one. Please don't do that. It is the theta that is 3A. So you need to split the theta. Okay, not splitting this one. This is definitely wrong. Okay, so now we're going to use the addition formula. So I'm going to pull in our addition formula. What if a question lame. Okay, sorry, later my moderator block you, I don't know. Okay, so addition formula, I'm going to use the tangent, this one. So it will be equals to tangent 2A plus tangent A over 1 minus tangent 2A tangent A. So you can see that this is plus, here is plus, here is minus. Okay? Glitter go. Don't do that. So you must remember, Bob 117, I don't know what topic is that. Maybe it's some topic that is not in our Singapore syllabus. Or rather, not in the O-level syllabus, okay? What's tangent? Tangent is trigo, okay? Tangent, So after that, because now I already use this already, right? And I already have my tangent A, I already have my tangent 2A. We just need to sub it in. So tangent 2A is 4 over 3 plus half over 1 minus 4 over 3 times half. Press calculator and you will get 11 over 2, which is 5.5. I don't understand why people always like to come in. Always like to come in. Always like to come in to say, ask what is 1 plus 1. Don't tell me that math is so bad until they don't know what is 1 plus 1. Okay. Anyway, this is how you do for odd number. What is there another formula? I don't understand probability distribution. Okay, this is not in our O-level syllabus. Sorry, I can't help you. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Question 3 of Trigo. So this one is quite similar to just now that one. Okay, the only difference is just now what we find. Let me see. So the only difference for this question is we got to find tangent half A. So how we're going to find tangent half A is going to use double angle for tangent. Yes, Kader, this is a trigo. Trigo is a very big topic, okay? It consists of a lot of questions. The weightage is very high. So open your ears big, okay? Okay, now again, cosine 2A is 2/3 and they tell me A is a cube. So this type, I always put one side. Yes, these formulas are in the front page of the exam paper. Okay, but I only pluck out these 6 formula out. There is still, I think, addition, blah, 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 blah. There's still 3 more the identity that is above. Total there are 9 that's given. So now over here, I'm going to write here cosine 2A is 2/3. So again, go through the thinking process. Oh, cosine positive, we know is first and fourth quadrant. Additional information, they tell me A is a cube. So it's like just now the question, right? My A is from 0 to 90. So my 2A will be from 0 to 180 degrees. Okay, and because cosine positive is only first and fourth quadrant, so that means we are talking about first. And we cross out the fourth. So always students always ask, need to write all these things, man. Okay, this is very crucial. Okay, don't skip this step because you need to know very, 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 very clear that which quadrant we are in. Okay, so now we are ready. Now we know that our 2A is in the first quadrant. And first quadrant, I straight away can draw my triangle this direction. Yeah, wait lah, wrong side. So it will be this. And we have here, you can straight away write 2a. Okay, other quadrant you have to write the acute basic angle. But when you're in the first quadrant, you can straight away write that it is 2a. So after that, a over h, so this is 2 and this is 3. Wait, let me go and find. So by Pythagoras theorem, okay, I work out here. 3 square minus 2 square square root is equals to 9 minus 4 square root, which is square root 5. So this one is square root 5. Okay, and then after that, what we do is, now we are ready to answer their question. So sine 2a. So that means I can look at the same triangle and find my opposite over hypotenuse. So therefore, my sine 2a, looking at the triangle, it is just square root 5 over 3. And because it's in the first quadrant, I don't have to put the minus. So sometimes you can write it in this form, or you want to put it as 1/3 square root 5 also can. Both also accept. Both is also the same value. It's just different presentation. So usually I'll just put it like that. Now next, they want cosine A. So how are we going to find the cosine A? Okay, cosine A, you will have to make use of double angle formula. Okay, double angle formula. So wait, let me squeeze out the formula. So you see, cosine 2a and cosine A. So which one should you use? Okay, cosine 2a has 3 choices. Cosine 2a can be cosine square A minus sine square A. So you want to find cosine A, it's not this one. Because now I have my cosine 2a. I have my cosine 2a. I don't have cosine A, I don't have sine A. So this is not a wise choice. Look at the second one. Okay, unless I have sine A. If not, I cannot use. So that means in this case, I can use my third one. Third one. So I'm going to write here. So the third one is cosine 2a is equals to 2. Sorry, the second one. Second or third. The third one. 2 cosine square A minus 1. So this is from the formula. Worried might fail both A and E math. Worry no choice lah. As in worry no point ma. I mean as in of course if your exam is already over then yeah lah. But if it's over already then it's already over. But if your exam is not over yet, then I'd rather you not spend the time worrying. I'd rather you spend the time to go and revise, right? Get as many marks as you can, right? Just try your best, okay? Okay, so with this, hi, Teacher Kangie, may I ask why we only look at first quadrant? No, we only look at first quadrant because cosine positive is in the first and fourth quadrant. Okay? Cosine positive is only in the first and fourth quadrant. Then they tell me that A is acute. And so since A is acute, so it's between 0 to 90. Then 2A will be times 2 on both sides. So 0 times 2 is 0. 2 times 90 is 180. So my 2A will be between 0 to 180. But in the first place, we already narrowed down to first and fourth quadrant. So it means that we will not consider the fourth quadrant because fourth quadrant is 270 to 360 degrees. So that's why our 2A is focusing on first quadrant. Can? Okay, so cosine 2A is equals to 2 cosine square A minus 1. So what I'm going to do is, good. Okay, good. So because I already have my cosine 2A, so I'm going to just put 2/3 here. 2 cosine square A minus 1. So all you need to do is solve cosine A. So I'm going to shift over. So 2 cosine square A is 2/3 plus 1. Cosine square A is equals to 2/3 plus 1 divided by 2. So my cosine A is equals to square root this thing 2/3 plus 1 divided by 2. But don't forget, square root, you must put plus minus. So we will get square root 5 over 6 or negative square root 5 over 6. And again, it's the same like just now previously. Because my A is in the first quadrant, so my first quadrant is all sine, cosine, tangent are all positive. So we will reject the negative one for this case. So again, I'm going to reject this and I'm going to accept this. But take note, this cannot be your final answer. This cannot be your final answer. So you have to write square root 5 over square root 6. Then you need to rationalize because you cannot have surds at the denominator. So multiply by square root 6 over square root 6. You will have square root 30 over square root 6. Square root 6 times square root 6 is 6. Yes. So you either leave your answer in this form or you write it as 1 over 6 square root 30. You are also not wrong. Okay. So we are done with cosine A. Okay. So my cosine A, actually I'm using the double angle formula for the cosine 2A. And then just sub A, and then after that just solve cosine A the subject. And because it's square root, please make sure that you have your plus minus. Okay, now next, tangent A. So same thing, because I have my cosine A, square root 30 over 6. I don't write in this form is because it is not a single fraction to me. So with a single fraction, then I know what is my A and H, because cosine is car A over H. So with this, I can draw the triangle again. So I'm going to write, where I'm going to write? I'm going to draw here. So my cosine A is square root 30 over 6. So draw the triangle. So this is my A. This is square root 30 and 6. So by Pythagoras theorem, okay, we work out that this side is square root 6. Then my tangent A, very straightforward. My tangent A refer to the triangle O over A. So it's square root 6 over square root 30. And we need to simplify. So I'm going to multiply it by square root 30 over square root 30. Is square root 180 over 30. Square root 180 can change to 36 times 5. So it's 6 square root 5 over 30. And 6 and 30 can simplify. So it becomes square root 5 over 5. And we are done. Okay, now how to find tangent half A. Okay, how to find half A. Okay, we're going to use the double formula of tangent 2A. Okay, so let us write the double angle first. Tangent 2A is equals to 2 tangent A over 1 minus tangent square A. Okay, so you all need to know that how does double angle work. The left hand side and theta is twice the theta on the right hand side. So you can see the left hand side 2A, right hand side is A. Okay, so I'm going to apply the same concept to the half A. So therefore, my tangent A is equals to 2 tangent half A over 1 minus tangent square half A. So now I have my tangent half A. Then because my tangent A in part 3, I already found it, which is square root 5 over 5. So just sub it in. So square root 5 over 5 will be equals to 2 tangent half A over 1 minus tangent square half A. So you may find that it is very not so easy to see. So what you can do is you can let what's this number? 6. Okay, you can say I'm going to write here. I'm going to let U equals to tangent half A. So it's easier to see, you see. So square root 5 over 5 equals to 2U over 1 minus U squared. Okay, I just temporarily substitute the tangent half A to become U. So at least my equation doesn't look so complex and I don't have to write so much. Okay, so just cross multiply. So I have square root 5 minus square root 5U squared equals to 10U. So it becomes minus square root 5u square minus 10u plus square root 5 equals to 0. Okay, I don't like to have minus. I'm going to type negative 1 throughout. Square root 5u square plus 10u minus square root 5 equals to 0. So this one definitely cannot use cross method. The one that you all say what cross factorization. Okay, so this one definitely cannot use that. You will have to use quadratic formula. So you cannot run away by not knowing quadratic formula. Okay, so in this case you cannot factorize. You will have to use quadratic formula. So my A for this case is square root 5. My B is 10. My C is minus square root 5. So let's solve my U. So U will be equals to minus B plus minus B square minus 4AC over 2A. Not bad. Okay. So then after that simplify. So after I simplify, I will get minus 10 plus minus square root 120 over square root 5, 2. You need to further simplify. So I move it here. I squeeze it here. And then I'm going to use red pen. So how do you simplify this part? So I'm going to write here. So minus 10 plus minus. The square root 120, you will break it up to become 4 times 30. Okay? 4 times 30. So it becomes 2 square root 30 over 2 square root 5. And then we need to further simplify. So how am I going to further simplify? It's minus 10 over 2 square root 5 plus minus 2 square root 30 over 2 square root 5. I split. So this one, this side, it becomes minus 5. Divide 10 and 2 can simplify. So divide by 2, I get 5, and then this one is square root 5. I need to rationalize it. So times square root 5 over square root 5, we have minus. Ayo, I write until very confused already. Wait. Wait. Somewhere is not correct. Divide by 2, 5. Correct. Simplify minus 5 square root 5 square root 5, 5. Okay. Okay, so it becomes minus 5 square root 5 over 5. So when I simplify this part, it becomes just minus square root 5. I only do left hand side, this side. I still haven't done with this part. So this one I can cancel the 2, right? Then I need to rationalize this one. Square root 5 times square root 5. So I get plus minus square root 150 over 5. So this one, square root 150, how are you going to simplify? It is 5 square root 6. So this is 5 square root 6 over 5. Cancel the 5. So it becomes plus minus square root 6. Okay, this is a tough simplification for the surds. And because you see the question say you must leave your answer in surds form. In other words, exact form. So the only way out is by using quadratic formula and simplifying your surds. Okay, and we are not done yet. Do you see there's a plus minus? So, technically speaking, I have two answers. I have minus square root 5 minus square root 6 or minus square root 5 plus square root 6. But I will reject the minus square root 5 minus square root 6 because that will give me negative. So we will reject this, and this is my answer. Okay. which is square root 6 minus square root 5. It's the same thing. Okay, faint already? Seeing me how I simplify the certs, you're faint already? Hopefully you are still there, can follow my simplification of my certs. Okay, so this is how you find half A, how you relate double angle to half A. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, question 4. So this is slightly different, as in this is obtuse. Just now the two previous questions that we did is my A is acute. So at the corner here, I'm going to do my sine A is 3/5. So go through the thinking process. Sine positive is in the first and second quadrant. Then they tell me A is obtuse. Means that I'm going to ignore first quadrant. That means it's only the second quadrant that we need to consider. And when it's the second quadrant, you will see that my triangle, I will draw this way. Draw a line, and then this is my A. Here is basic angle. Opposite 3, this is 5, and this is 4. So see how I draw? My A is no longer inside the triangle because my A is obtuse. My A should be this. And inside the triangle is basic angle. Understand? So now we can go and find out, okay, I want cosine 2A. Cosine 2A means I need to use my double formula. Right? So let's find my cosine A first. Cosine A using this triangle, I will have 4 over 5. Take note, kids. Remember, always check whether you need to put minus or not. This time, I'm in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, okay, my cosine is negative. So I have to put minus. So cosine A is negative 4/5. Remember, this is very important because now you are in the second quadrant. You are no longer in first quadrant. First quadrant is all positive. Cosine in second quadrant is negative. So now with this, I can use my cosine 2A formula. I can use cosine square A minus sine square A. So cosine A is just minus 4/5 square, and then this one is just 3/5 square. And I will get 7 over 25. Okay, even if you want to use my cosine 2A, remember got 3. You want to use 1 minus 2 sine square A also can. Then you can use this one straight away. Okay, you will still get the same answer. You will still get the same answer. Now, tangent 2A. So how do you find tangent 2A? So because I can find my tangent A first. So again, find your tangent A, which is referring to this triangle, O over A, which is 3/4. Again, ask yourself, wait, how is sine basic angle same as A? Sine basic angle same as A. What do you mean? Yes, because, okay, just take for example, if your basic angle is 30 degrees, you go in key calculator sine 30 and then key calculator sine 150 degrees. It will give you the same ratio and both is positive. Harder? Right. You must know this, as in this is A, S, T, C. Okay, let's move on. So I have found my tangent A is 3/4, but because tangent A is in the second quadrant, tangent is negative. So I have to put minus. I have to put minus. So now we are ready to use the double angle formula. So tangent 2A is equals to 2 tangent A over 1 minus tangent square A. So it will be 2 bracket minus 3/4 over 1 minus negative 3/4 square. Press your calculator, you will get 24 over 7 with the minus. Yeah, my minus not very clear. Must write properly. answer. Okay, now is how do you find sine half A? Okay, so sine half A, you're going to use the double angle formula for the cosine 2A. Okay, so remember we have our cosine 2A is equals to 1 minus 2 sine square A. So I'm going to apply this to that to cosine A is equals to 1 minus 2 sine square half A. Don't have bracket. So I'm using the double formula for cosine 2A and plug it into my this one. So that's how I get my sine half A. And my cosine A, I already found it previously, which is negative 4 over 5. So just put here negative 4 over 5 equals to 1 minus 2 sine square half A. So let's continue here. So my sine half A, I will shortcut already. It will be 1 minus cosine A over 2 and square root with the plus minus. So I will end up having plus minus 9 over 10, which is 3 over square root 10 or negative 3 square root 10. So then the question is, do I reject the negative or do I reject the positive? So common mistake is student, remember, is in the second quadrant, right? So they say that, oh, second quadrant, my sign is negative. So they reject the positive and take the negative. But we still need to do one more step. Okay, we still need to do one more step, which is my A is obtuse, right? So you will say that your A is in the second quadrant. So your A is between 90 to 180 because you already decided that your A is in the second quadrant. So my half A means that it will be 45 degree to 90 degree. So in this, you will then, oh, like that, means you are talking about first quadrant again. So you should not reject the positive. You should accept the positive and reject the negative. So this one, I will reject. And we are not done yet. I'm supposed to rationalize. So it will be 3 square root 10 over 10. Done. Can? Okay, I'm going to do the last question for the day. Okay, I'm going to do the last question for the day. So by now, at least you all know how to do half angle. Now this last question is 4A, and then previously I done the question on 3A. Okay, and then I also previously, in front, I already did linear law. So when you come out this kind of quadrant question, you should be good enough. So if it's cosine 4A, again, I'm going to use the double formula. Okay, so I'm going to use cosine 2A. This is from the formula list, which is cosine 2A equals to 2 cosine square A minus 1. So remember, the double angle formula means the left-hand side theta is double the right-hand side theta. So I'm going to apply it to cosine 4A. So it means that, oh, so cosine 4A will be 2 cosine square 2A minus 1. Right? My theta is still double the right-hand side theta. Agree? And I already have my cosine 2A. Do I have it? Wait. Yes, I have it. Right at the top. Cosine 2A. So my cosine 2A is 7 over 25. So it will be equals to 2 7 over 25 square minus 1, and you get minus 527 over 625. Done. Right. Okay, actually, I still have one more question. Okay, let's see whether I want to go to question 5. That's the last question. Okay, or I stop here. Let me see how many of you are listening. Because if... When do you live? Wednesday 8 p.m. to 9:30 and Sunday 5 p.m. to 6:30. Let's see how many people are listening. Then I see whether I want to go to one more question or not. If not, I will end because I will go and eat my dinner. Okay? So if you are still interested to listen to the last question, okay, please say okay. Who got blocked? Slippery finger 17 get blocked. Who blocked one? I think maybe the moderator thought that the person say, where do I live? But it's actually asking me when I'm having live. Okay. So Sam, go to my list later. Go and unblock the slippery finger 17. Okay. I missed the 3A one. Each is it just a 2A plus 1? Oh no, no. Okay, let me go to the 3A again. Where is it? That one is a very important one. Wait. Let me find. Found it. Oh, okay. So over here, see here, tangent 3A, you should be writing it as tangent 2A plus A. Then you use the addition formula. Okay, so the addition formula, alamak, wait too many paper around. Okay, found it. Then use the addition formula. Okay, tangent 3A is equal to tangent 2A plus A. So it's a tangent, this one. Yes, zombie, I super agree what you say. Because I was in the engineering, okay? And for engineering courses, the engineering math, if you don't have AMath, you will definitely faint. Max. That's why it's good to have AMath knowledge, because in poly, a lot of modules, they have maths, and it involves calculus, which is related to AMath. Of course, it's more difficult than AMath, but if you don't have the basic knowledge of AMath, then you will definitely suffer in engineering math. So the one just asked for about 3A, so I split this, how I split, then after that, my 2A will be the A, you see, my A will be the B. So just follow, so it's tangent 2A plus tangent A over 1 minus, then I just have to apply my tangent 2A. So my tangent 2A, of course, in the first place, you already use the double formula for the tangent 2A. Okay, you find that already. So that's why I said when your theta is odd number, you will have to use mixture of double angle and addition formula. Okay? Important, Okay, so let's move on to the last question. I saw 2 okay only, but I will just go do it. Okay. So over here, this one slightly different is there is A and B. Okay, so this is what I always do on the side. Okay, to finalize what quadrant we are referring to. So sine A given to me is 15 over 17. So sine positive, we talk about first and second quadrant. Then my cosine B given to me is minus 3 over 5. So cosine negative is in the second and third quadrant. Okay, so this is the first decision of which quadrant we want to consider first. Then after that, they give me additional information. They tell me that A and B are in the same quadrant. So now you look at it. So definitely we are talking about quadrant number 2. So that means I will cross out this one and cross out this. So it means that both A and B are in the second quadrant. Okay, so if both in the second quadrant, I will have to draw the triangle, which is this one. This will be basic, dot, 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 dot. This will be A. And then this will be 15, 17, and this is 8. Then I will draw for this one. Okay, this one take note. For me, this one is B. I cannot write this as basic. Because if I'm going to write the same symbol, it means that my basic angle is the same. But they are not the same triangle. So I use beta to represent the basic angle for this second triangle. And this is A over H. So this is 3, this is 5, and this is 4. Okay. So now we are ready. Okay, we are ready to do whatever trigo ratio they want. So sine 2a. Oh, sine 2a, that means I'm going to use the 2. Wait, where is it? So my sine 2a will be 2 sine a cosine a. Okay. So 2 sine a is given, which is 15 over 17. What is cosine a? Just look at the triangle. Cosine a means a over h. Means it's 8 over 17. But, be careful. Because it is second quadrant. And my cosine is negative. So this one must put minus. This one must put minus. Because your cosine a in the second quadrant, cosine is negative. So this one got minus. Then press the calculator, you will get minus 240 over 289. Done. If you don't mind, can you explain 4 part 1 and 2 again, please? Where? You can refer to my YouTube, the TikTok we play for the question 4 again. Okay, go to my YouTube channel. It's not ready now. It will be uploaded tomorrow. Okay. So you can go to you can subscribe to my Telegram channel. Tomorrow when Sam uploaded to the Telegram channel the link, then from there you also can see what is the YouTube link as well. Okay, wait. Mr. Carter, why no negative sign for B? Where? This one? Or this one? Where got negative sign? Which one are you referring to? Why no negative sign for B? Why must have this one? This is from here to here leh. Where got negative? This value start from here. I mean this angle start from here. And B is positive what? The angle B is positive value. Okay? Okay, I'm going to move on. Triangle. No, my triangle, I never put negative in the triangle. My triangle is always positive value. Okay, I don't like to put the negative inside the triangle. Okay, the triangle is all the ratio, the number. The sign minus or plus, I will decide by the quadrant. That's why you can see that I always have two diagrams. I always have a quadrant diagram, I always have a triangle diagram. I don't like to combine them together because it's very confusing. I will just take the value. So if you see so far I always take, okay, I want cosine A, I look at the triangle, I take A over H, 8 over 17, then I will look at my quadrant and decide, okay, second quadrant cosine is negative. Then I just put a minus there. Okay? So I don't like to put the negative inside my triangle. I will always use two diagrams. One is to quadrant to represent which quadrant we are focusing in. And then the triangle to find out the three numbers, the ratio, the O, the A, and the H. Okay? So now let's take a look over here. So cosine half A. So cosine half A, we're going to use the double formula again. So cosine 2A is equals to 2 cosine square A minus 1. Okay, again, I'm going to apply it to half angle, right? So therefore, cosine A is equals to 2 cosine square half A minus 1. Then again, I'm going to use cosine half A as a subject. It will become cosine A plus 1 over 2 and square root with the plus minus. So we simplify, sub in cosine A, cosine A, cosine A. My cosine A is minus 8 over 17. Minus 8 over 17 plus 1 over 2 square root with the plus minus. And we will get square root plus minus square root 9 over 34. And we have plus minus 3 over square root 34. Simplify it. Sorry, rationalize it. So we have 3 over 3 square root 34 over 34. Yeah, correct. Or negative 3 square root 34 over 34. Then again, remember, we need to decide whether we need to accept both or reject one of them. So this is half A. Let's see. My my A is in the second quadrant. So see, my A is in the second quadrant. My half A, in this case, is 45 degree and 90. And this is first quadrant, means that it's positive. So I will reject the negative. So student ask me, every time it seems like you always reject the negative. But it depends. Imagine if your angle is in the third quadrant. Okay, 180 to 270. Then when you times half, it goes to the second quadrant. Then it's not say always reject the negative. So it must always depend which quadrant you are doing. Okay, now it's because my A is in the second quadrant. I do this and I know, oh, my half A is in the first quadrant. Then yes, I reject the negative and accept the positive. Okay, so we are done with this. Last part, which is the cosine 2b. So this one, okay, this one easy. Okay, must take note. This one is A, this one is A. That's why we look at the triangle that is talking about A. This one is cosine 2b. So you must use the correct triangle. So cosine 2b. Cosine 2b, it will be equals to 2 cosine square b minus 1. So it's 2 cosine square minus 1. Cosine square b. So we go to find cosine b. My cosine b is given, which is minus 3 over 5. So just put it in, minus 3 over 5. And then I get minus 7 over 25. So in the end, you can see that actually I don't even need to draw my triangle. Right? But it's just a habit that I always do. Every time they draw this kind of thing, I'll draw the quadrant, the triangle, the quadrant, the triangle. Then after that, whatever they ask me to find, then I will just refer to the triangle and plug my value. Okay? So I am done with my last question. Okay? Okay, so all good.